Welcome back to the Hudson Valley 360 Gridiron Glance Show. This week we have Coach Mike Leamy, longtime Hudson coach. You're there from, what do you say, 68 started?
68 to 1999. I officially 2009. I officially got out, and then I subbed for another 2 years. 2012.
Sure. I got to tell you, Coach, it's a real treat to have you here. We've wanted you here from day one. Long-time Hudson coach and coaching legend. You've touched a lot of lives in the Hudson City School District.
You know, talking about that, and I'll never forget longest day. Dave Landry.
Sure.
I was talking to him. I was complaining one time because I was in pre-den. I was going to be a dentist. I was complaining. I forgot to study. But Dave Landry put his hand on my shoulder and he says, "You know, Coach, you know how many kids you've touched over the years, and that made it all worthwhile."
I can vouch for that myself.
And there's a lot.
Absolutely. Now, I know you were mentioning you came to Hudson in 1968, coached that undefeated freshman team in 1970?
1970, Tommy Fink, yep.
And then when did you move up to the JV level?
About 3 years later. 2 or 3 years later. No, actually I moved up. I coached for the JVs.
Sure.
No, I moved up the next year.
Okay.
In 2071.
Yep.
And then I coached them for about 5 years, JVs. And then I was, about 4 years, 3 years. Then I went with Hamlet to assistant varsity coach.
Sure. Now, you took over the varsity program 1982.
82, exactly.
And everything changed from that point on. That set off a storm of 5 out of 6 years winning the Capital Conference Championship, which originally was the Governor's Cup, then was the Buckley Cup. But
the Governor's first 2 years, then the Buckley Cup. Yep.
I want to start at 1982, that first year as varsity head coach. Hudson had problems beating Albany Academy through the years.
I never beat them.
In fact, they beat you that first game of that season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then came that last game of the season.
That was a big one.
Take us through that.
Ernie Steck was the coach. And
Sure.
He told me after the first game, Coach, you got a heck of a team there. And he says, "Yeah, we're pretty good, but we're on the wrong side of the scoreboard."
Yeah.
But then we went through the season, and then we faced them. The last game was called the Governor's Cup then.
Right.
And Albany Academy was undefeated for 3 years. And they had their best team probably ever.
Sure, won 28 in a row.
Yeah, and then they had the same team from the year before that beat Hudson in the Buckley Cup the year before. Actually, it was Governor's Cup then. And then we had an epic game down there.
Yep.
Overtime.
That's right. It was 6-6 at the end of regulation. They got the ball first in overtime, scored. Then Galen Pellamy had a great play in the end zone to knock away their 2-point conversion attempt. So it's 12-6. Hudson has the ball, 4 downs at the 10-yard line. What happened?
I think the first play was a quickie to Mike Howard, and it was overthrown. The second play was a 27 toss, John Sinclair, we're on left end. So here's the real bright coach going out. I went out between each play because we had a lot of time.
That's right, because he scored on that play.
He scored 27 toss, and they had a heck of a team. Mark Mustanis, who played pro ball, and Demetrius Chavez played for Mass, and the bowling ball. The 2 bowling balls.
Andy Mendelson, right?
Andy Mendelson, the big. He went Colgate or something. But so we scored, and I went out, and I was going to be real bright going to a certain play on the extra point, and the kid says, "Coach, let's go the same thing which got us there."
That's Pete Fonda, right?
Pete Fonda,
the quarterback.
So we went with Sinclair, same identical play. First time we went in easy. Second time with extra point, he had to dive in, but he got in.
He got in.
Yeah,
that
overtime.
14-12 victory. Place went nuts.
Yeah.
Huge crowd there that night.
Thousands of people, yeah.
I remember it was like yesterday.
I thought the game was over. I mean, at the end of the game, I thought that was it because I didn't think you'd had overtime.
That's right. Everybody started to leave. The refs started to leave.
We didn't have overtime then. I didn't know you had overtime.
That's right.
That was the first year they had it.
That's right, because God rest his soul, Tom Buckley was still alive at that time. And Harry Ketchadurian called everybody together and said, "Hey, we're going overtime. We play overtime for this championship here." So, and then, of course, the rest is history.
Yeah.
And won that championship. Then you won.
Talking about Tom Buckley.
Yes.
Just an interesting thing on paper. They just has formed some big thing now like the Buckley Cup before, but
sure.
It's the name of Tom Buckley and Danny Reinford.
Right.
The 2 teams played last week.
Yes.
Warriorsville and Watervliet, and they're both personal friends of mine.
Sure.
Danny had a terrible tragedy, and Tom did too. Tom had the heart attack.
Yes.
But I was going to go to the game, and I didn't. But those are 2 personal friends of mine who I really respected.
2 great coaches.
Tom Buckley and Danny Reinford.
2 great coaches, 2 great guys.
Great guys.
Now, 83, I remember, if I recall correctly, you beat Tamarack 43-0.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit. We lost a game during the season, and maybe we even lost two. I can't remember. And we had to beat Chatham the last game to go to the Buckley Cup, and we beat Chatham kind of bad. And unfortunately, my big star from the year before, I got him another year eligibility.
John Sinclair.
Yeah, and I ended up throwing him off. He was undisciplined, and we had problems.
Tremendous athlete.
To this day, I still love the kid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then the guy named Maurice Haney got in, and
I remember
he ran
that.
crazy. And
I think he ran for 192 yards that day against Tamarack.
But before that, in the Buckley and Chatham to get in it, and in the Buckley Cup, he went crazy. And then in the sectionals too.
That was what was so amazing about a small school like Hudson in those days. I mean, there was so much depth. I mean, you don't see that a lot of times nowadays. I mean, it's, one guy goes down and you're in trouble. Now, in those days, one man went down, next man up.
Well, Maurice had a little problem. What happened? He had broken his arm a couple years before.
Very fast, though.
Yeah, very fast, and he was a little bit leery. He had broken his arm, and I can't blame him, I guess. But he came to his own at the end. He came to his own.
Absolutely stepped up when you needed him most.
Yeah.
And you won 84, 85. 86, I know that was the one year that you didn't quite make it past Waterville. It was 7-0 though, a game here in Hudson.
We had some problems with coaching.
Things happen.
But whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then 88 or 87 actually won it again. That's the year you beat Voorheesville. 20
Yeah, it was.
They were Larry
Morris.
Collins.
Yep, up there and up there. Yeah, yes. Yes.
I want to reminisce though about some individual players that you've coached over the years and whose lives you've touched. I mean, if you could start a team with any one of the quarterbacks that you coach at the varsity level, who would you start your team with at quarterback?
Probably the best quarterback. I coached JVs for quite a few years.
But varsity now. This is from 82 to 89. You're varsity.
Pete was awful good. Pete was awful good. And he's very smart. I tell you, the G-man was awful good.
That's
the option. Tommy Gridiron.
Yeah, that's the one.
Tommy Gridiron with the option.
Yeah. Tommy was
he could throw, he could run.
To this day, for me, that's still the best quarterback I've seen at Hudson.
Yeah.
In my lifetime since I've been watching Hudson High football.
Yeah, he was tremendous. He was really good.
And you've had some great running backs. Hudson's like running back central. I mean, always had a great tailback. But of all the great ones, again, in your varsity coaching career, pick one.
Who do you think?
I'm leaving it up to you to say.
The little guy.
Cleve Spann.
Tremendous. He could do everything. He was just as fast laterally as he was straight ahead.
And he was strong.
Very strong. Short.
He wasn't very tall.
5'6", 5'7".
He was
tremendous
tough.
athlete.
Absolutely.
Tremendous. He was college talent. He was. Little guy, but he was college talent.
Absolutely. Fast, strong.
And great kid.
Absolutely. How about linemen?
I
know you name a couple.
No question. And to this day, I feel guilty when I see him because I called up Hudson Valley for him, and this guy got cut up to Hudson Valley. This is the best lineman I ever had. He dominated.
Yeah.
A guy named Danny Marsh. Dominated.
I remember that name. You've always said that from
he couldn't run a mile. What lineman's got to run a mile?
Exactly.
In practice.
Exactly.
He couldn't run a mile. That's just complete stupidity on the coach's part up there. I can't remember. Might have been Earl from Waterville. Might have been. Or RPI, but yeah. Danny Marsh. Awesome.
You just name dropped a little bit too there. You said Danny Grandinetti. How good was Danny?
Awful good. Lineman. I mean, a linebacker. Not as good running back, but middle linebacker and tremendous. All over the field. Had a nose for the ball.
No question about it.
Nose for the ball.
Danny was one of those great all-around players that you could put him anywhere. To me, he was one of those guys you could put him at center, and he'd be a good center.
Yeah.
I mean, he just could play anywhere. You put him on the field and excel. But again, it's just some of the names that have.
Danny Grandy was probably the best linebacker. Oh no! Before that, my first year here, there's a guy who became captain of Iowa State and played for Philadelphia Stars.
Sure.
Teddy Jarnoff. He dominated.
Teddy's a legend.
Dominated. Iowa State, played for Johnny Majors.
Yep.
Who went to Pittsburgh. And,
tremendous.
And went to Tennessee.
Yep.
Right.
Johnny Majors is as you're talking about.
Yeah, Johnny Majors.
Yep.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Teddy Jarnoff was tremendous.
Teddy, people don't realize Teddy was a pretty good baseball player too.
Very good. Very good. They had a great team.
Absolutely.
They had a great team. In fact, they won a sectional 3 years. He was only on it once, but that team with Mike Molino and Ali Parjak and Stan Rucchio, tremendous baseball.
Now, I asked you about the individual players through your varsity coaching career. Tell me about maybe the team that stands out the most. Not that's near and dear to your heart, but the team that you felt had the most talent from 82 to 89. Which one of those teams, if you had to pick one?
Probably, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
Because
82 we were tremendous. We beat number 2 team in the state.
Incredible.
And then with the Green Eddies in the 85 and 86 in there, we were tremendous.
Sure.
83 we killed Tambrack and we won the sectionals in the Buckley Cup. Probably I'd have to say probably 85, 86 team with Granetti and Jake Walthauer and Tommy Granetti.
I still talk about that team to anybody who will listen, and there's not many. But I always say that team, because the 94 team, of course, went to the Carrier Dome to play for the Class C state title. But the 85 team...
I wish somebody was there then.
Yeah.
I wish somebody was there. No comment.
I know what you're saying. Coach. I'm right there with you. But yeah, that 85 team was tremendous. There's so many memories, so many great memories. We could go on forever about that.
Best runner ever out of this place, and maybe one of the best ever out of the whole area, Cobleskill area, was Leroy.
Oh,
no question.
I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, Leroy set the bar.
1 year with Division 1. 1 year he was third in the nation in total yards for Louisville.
Yeah.
And he didn't start the first 2 games.
Sure.
Third in the nation
that's
in
amazing.
total yards.
Because not only could he run, he could catch. I mean, he could block. He was a complete back. I mean, just.
I had him in elementary school down in John Ellen. He was doing backflips like in second grade, third grade.
Incredible athlete.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
But let me get back to that question I was going to ask you. Is there one memory out of all your coaching career that stands out above them? I know there's probably
one event,
20.
one game,
one event, one game, one situation, one memory that just stands out.
When we beat Albany Academy in 1982, tremendous. Thousands of people there, and tremendous. And we weren't supposed to win.
Right.
They had beat us previously. It was close. What happened? I'll never forget. John Silvernail's a doctor now.
Yes.
After the game, says, "Coach, because they're running more 1,000 yards," and from that day on, as in November '82, my kids always ran 1,000 yards after practice, at least 3 days a week. 50 yards, 50 apiece, 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Because he said we ran out of gas. We never ran out of gas again.
Never ran out of gas. So you learned.
That was the first game.
That's great, Coach. That was tremendous.
See, I'd been JVs up to then, and we've always won so easy in the JVs. So we didn't have to run that much. We weren't the biggest. In fact, we were small. In fact, by the time we played the Buckley Cup that year with a great team, the '82, we didn't have one lineman over 200 pounds, and they were huge. The academy was huge.
That was a great.
That was Dr. Silvernail, who by that time he lost weight.
That's right, Dr. Silvernail, John Silvernail, and Harkle Road were the guards, right? Tim Grandinetti, the center. Tackles, let's see, Marsh.
Timmy.
Mike Kutsky.
We had, Kutsky.
We had a great line.
We had either five regional scholarship winners on that team. 5 regional scholarship winners.
Tremendous.
Which is highly unusual for Hudson on one team. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And in fact, Terry Harcourt won national championship with Wagner College.
Wagner College, exactly.
87.
Now he's assistant coach with the varsity team now.
87.
Time, for sure. That's good stuff, Coach.
You've seen quite a bit of Hudson this year. What do you think of the team out there?
I think they're very good. I'm really. Hey, you've heard about? I'm worried about that. That guy really impressed me. He was a right guard, and they put him in the second quarter or whatever it was. He went through over and outran everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he impressed me.
He was like he was shot out of a cannon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but he hurt his knee.
I'm really worried about that.
I spoke with Coach Davey. He said he's day to day. There's nothing been determined yet. So at this point, as we're doing this, still day to day, and they're taking it day by day, and hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
The Walker kid. I remember Willie's father.
Willie's tremendous.
Oh, tremendous runner. And that Boo kid or whatever. How you say it?
Zach Wilburn?
Oh, no. Well, who's got ran back the kickoff for the touchdown?
Oh, Tyler Blue.
Blue.
I can't think about Creighton, yes. Another great player, good running back, good linebacker, an all-around player. That's Hudson's got some really, really good parts. And I think, as we had talked about earlier, the fact that Hudson opened the season with 2 of the toughest teams in not only Section 2, but in the state, in Class B, in Glens Falls and Schuylerville. They came out on the short end of those scores, as we know, but I think that only helped them in the long run because they've seen what they've got now and they've improved. And I'm telling you, I think those two are going to tangle again.
Does Schuylerville play Glens Falls this week?
This weekend, yes, exactly. On Friday night up in Schuylerville. That should be a great game. I'm still taking Glens Falls. But as it turns out, Hudson in the playoffs should run into one of those two teams again, it might be different this time around. I'm not going to say it's going to be that way, but I think it absolutely could.
Pat Lilac's the coach. He's from a place called Stillwater. That's where I graduated from.
Yep.
I played ball with his father.
Yeah, and you're in Mechanicville area.
In
right?
Stillwater, yep.
That's right.
In fact, his Mike Lilac ran the state tournament up in Glens Falls for years and years and years.
Legendary basketball coach.
Mike Lilac.
For sure.
That's this guy's father.
Yes, that's right.
But he also played. On a team in Cortland with a guy named Nino Corbo.
The great Nino Corbo, another great lineman from the late 80s.
He was good. He played with his Lilac from Glens Falls.
And don't forget Silvio now. Silvio's
very good. Very good.
No question.
Oh, very good. Mm-hmm. No question.
The Hudson had a really impressive game this past week, playing undefeated Cobleskill, blew them out of the water pretty much.
I figured it was going to be a good game, high-scoring game. I was predicting 28-26 Hudson, but as it turned out, what do I know? Again, at least I had the right team winning. But Hudson just dominated from the start, exactly, from the get-go. They took over, they drove down the field, and every time they had a chance to score, they capitalized. They took advantage of mistakes made by Cobleskill. Cobleskill came in with a reputation of being a good run-and-shoot type of team, spread offense, quick passes, and they got somebody paging you. That's all right. Hey, this is live, But Hudson dominated that game completely, and to me, Coach Davey didn't want to call it a statement win, but what else could you call it? I mean, you beat an undefeated team, and now you are in the driver's seat as far as winning the Rhineford Division title. That went a long way. They didn't clinch it yet by any stretch, but definitely went a long way in terms of playoff positioning too.
And they have some injuries. You mentioned Zion Brown.
Yes.
Not a bad week to have injuries. They're playing against Lansingburg. Lansingburg is 1-4 at the moment. So they play them Friday night in Lansingburg. But if you have to rest a couple guys, this is probably a decent week to do that.
It wouldn't be a bad week. Uncharacteristically bad Lansingburg team this year. Right. They came down from Class A down to Class B. They won one game. That against Ichabod, a close game, 14-7. They're struggling. They lost last week 36-6 to Ravenna, a team that Hudson beat 34-16. So you would think Hudson has the upper hand in this one, especially with the playoffs looming. They want to make another statement here and show that they're for real and they're going into the playoffs with a full head of steam. So I look for Hudson. Hudson, as I mentioned, has looked good. You've seen them a couple times, Coach, and they have all the talent you would need to make a run here, and I think this is their time.
And speaking of Ichabod, they're going to be hosting Cobleskill. You guys both got a chance to see both of those teams play. Cobleskill last week. You've seen Ichabod play against Hudson this year. What do you think about Ichabod? They're 0-5, but they seem to have some guys on that team that can do pretty well.
Did I see Cobleskill. They play Cobleskill? Cobleskill.
Ichabod plays them.
Yes. I think Cobleskill will throw too much for Ichabod, I think. I think they'll throw too much.
Yeah.
I don't think Ichabod can stop them. Supposedly, I guess they're better this year. I only saw them I saw them the one game against Hudson.
Yes.
Right.
And that wasn't, just domination.
But I personally feel Ichabod has definitely improved. It is a tough task, though, against Cobleskill. Cobleskill is going to be breathing fire after getting their heads handed to them by Hudson last week. So they're going to come in and try to make a statement of their own against a young Ichabod Crane team. But again, don't sleep on the Riders. I'm telling you right now, the Riders can throw the ball a little bit themselves, and they give Austin Walsh some time. He can get him in the end zone a few times. So we'll see what happens there. But you would think Cobleskill would be the favorite in that one.
They should be. They're 4-1. Ichabod's 0-5. Still looking for their first win. Those are the only games that we have on Friday night. Saturday we have 2 games, 4 local teams playing. First one is Chatham at Coxsackie Athens. Always kind of a bit of a cross-county rivalry between Greene County, Columbia County. It's gone back and forth a couple years. Chatham 3-2, Coxsackie 1-4. Both of them do have good teams. They have a lot of stud players that can put the ball in the end zone. It should be a pretty good game over at Coxsackie.
Coxsackie Athens, actually, they're playing up at Ravenna again over there, and the Indians are coming off a loss against a very good Voorheesville team. Voorheesville seems to be picking up speed and building a full head of steam as they go on. So that was a tough loss for the Indians. Chatham with a nice victory over their cross-county rival, Taconic Hills, last week. Chatham is a very, very good team. They're a team, I think, that's going to be reckoned with come the Class C playoffs. They're 3-2, but that's a little misleading. They've had a couple of very, very close losses. They could easily be 5-0. No one say they should be, but they could be 5-0. And I think they're going to give Cooksaki Athens fits this weekend. They have a very multi-dimensional attack. They can throw the ball. They've got a lot of kids that can run the ball, a good line. Again, Chatham team to watch. Come play.
And when Chatham's on, they're on. They're scoring 60, 80 points a game.
80 points, 54
they're
points,
put the ball in the end
41
zone.
points. Yeah,
So,
definitely.
last game, Durham at the Cobleskill. This is the Cobleskill homecoming game. Both teams are 0-5, both looking for the first win. The Cobleskill had some. They're doing pretty well against a lot of teams. They're holding some guys to not that many points. They play well against Cooksaki. Durham putting points on the board again. They haven't been shut out. But they can't stop anybody.
But that's the problem.
It could be a bit of a shootout in this game.
Yeah, Brian, in this game, somebody's always got to go.
Right.
At least we think so.
We hope so.
It could go to overtime. We know. We'll see what happens there. But I would give Connectill's the edge here. The fact that they're home is homecoming. But again, Durham has definitely improved as the season has wore on. I know it might not show in the record or the scores that they're putting out there, but they have scored more points. If they can only stop somebody, but even in that regard, they have definitely tightened up a little bit defensively. They're playing some very good teams. When you give up 40 points to a team like Ward of Elite. Ward of Elite's putting up that many points against a lot of teams, but so Durham is not one again to be slept upon. In a game like this, I mean, Connectills might seem to have the upper hand, and I think they do, being home and the fact that it's homecoming. But don't sleep on the Mustangs.
All right, that's all we have for this week. We hope to see you next week, and thanks for tuning in. And thank you, Coach, for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
An honor.
You're welcome.